I used to believe that beauty was armor, that if I perfected the outside, the inside could remain whatever it wanted, unexamined, undeveloped, utterly irrelevant to how the world received me. Let me tell you how a scarred makeup artist who refused to touch my face, a child who cried when I looked at her, and my own reflection finally turning its back taught me that I had spent 30 years building a temple to emptiness, and that the only person who couldn't see my ugliness was the one person who needed to most. My name is Celeste. I am 34 years old. I have been professionally beautiful for 15 of those years and personally monstrous for longer than I can accurately remember. The old me was meticulous, obsessive, the kind of person who scheduled her day around skincare routines, who calculated calories to the decimal, who practiced her expressions in mirrors the way others practice piano scales. I worked in fashion, not as a model. My height betrayed me, cruel 5'4", but as an influencer, a tastemaker, a curator of aesthetic aspiration. I had 400,000 followers who studied my outfits, my procedures, my carefully constructed presentation of a life that looked effortless and cost everything. I told myself this was empowerment, feminism reclaimed through self-optimization, the refusal to let age or gravity or genetics determine my value. What I was doing was hiding behind fillers and filters and the specific desperation of someone who believed that if the outside were perfect enough, no one would notice that the inside was barren, brittle, barely alive. I was cruel, not to everyone, to the people who couldn't help me, who couldn't advance me, who couldn't reflect my beauty back in ways that increased my following, my income, my sense of finally being enough. I dismissed waitresses who didn't recognize me. I mocked friends who gained weight, aged naturally, chose comfort over presentation. I treated romantic partners as accessories, upgrading them when they failed to enhance my image, discarding them when their own needs became visible, messy, human. I was especially cruel to my sister, Vivian. She was older by 3 years, had chosen teaching over fashion, had laugh lines she refused to treat, had married a man who worked construction and made her laugh in ways that produced unphotogenic expressions. I visited her annually, performed sisterhood for my content, then spent the drive home cataloging her failures, the weight, the wrinkles, the wasted potential of a woman who had chosen substance over surface. She tolerated me. That was her cruelty, I thought then, the way she accepted my insults as jokes, my judgments as concern, my presence as gift rather than invasion. The breaking point was her daughter, my niece, Emma, age 6, the one person I didn't bother performing for, because children don't have followers, don't offer validation, don't see the world through the metrics that mattered to me. I arrived at Vivian's house for Thanksgiving. I had prepared new fillers, new procedure, new outfit that had required 3 fittings and a flight to Milan. I was exquisite. I was radiant. I was ready to be witnessed. Emma answered the door, 6 years old, gap-toothed, wearing a costume from some children's show I didn't recognize. She looked at me, really looked, and she cried. Not dramatically, just tears, the spontaneous response of a child who had not yet learned to filter her reactions through politeness, through social obligation, through the performance of acceptance. I was offended, deeply, personally, the offense that comes when your entire identity is challenged by someone who can possibly understand its construction. I retreated to the bathroom, studied my face, found nothing wrong. The fillers were perfect, the skin was flawless, the symmetry was mathematically validated. What did she see? I emerged, performed Thanksgiving, ate nothing, carbs, sugar, the enemy of aesthetic maintenance, watched Vivian eat pie with genuine pleasure, her husband's hand on her back, her daughter eventually recovered, playing on the floor, ignoring me completely. That was the wound, the ignoring. I was used to being watched, evaluated, desired, or envied. I was not used to irrelevance, to a child who had looked at me and found nothing worth seeing. I left early, drove home, studied my face again, longer, searching for the flaw that a child had detected and I could not find. I found her 3 weeks later, not Emma, her mother, Vivian, who answered my call with the same tolerance she always showed, who agreed to meet for coffee despite the annual performance of our relationship, who sat across from me in a cafe that didn't photograph well, and waited. What did she see? I asked. No preamble, no performance, just the question that had been consuming me. Vivian was quiet. She had always been quiet, I realized. Not passive, just patient, willing to wait for me to arrive at questions she had been holding for years. "She saw what you are," Vivian said finally. "Not what you look like, what you are. The way you looked at her, through her. The way you look at everyone, like we're obstacles to your reflection, like we're not real unless we serve your image." "That's not," I started, the defense automatic, practiced, ready. "She felt it," Vivian continued. "Children feel it, the hunger, the evaluation, the way you take in a room and calculate its usefulness to your story. She felt like a prop, like furniture, like something that didn't matter because she couldn't make you more beautiful." I wanted to argue, to explain my industry, my pressures, my genuine belief that beauty was power, that presentation was progress, that I was helping women by demonstrating what optimization could achieve. But I remembered Emma's tears, the genuine response of a human being who had encountered something frightening and didn't know to call it anything other than what it was. "You're ugly," Vivian said. Not cruelly, almost gently. "Not your face. Your face is whatever you've paid for it to be. You're ugly in the way that matters, the way you treat people, the way you see them, the way you've made yourself the only real thing in a world you've turned into mirror." She left, paid for my coffee, because she was kind even in confrontation, especially in confrontation. I sat alone, surrounded by people taking photos of their drinks, their outfits, their curated moments, and I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Shame. Not about my appearance, about my absence. The realization that I had been physically present in thousands of moments without ever actually being there, without ever contributing anything that couldn't be filtered, optimized, displayed. I found the makeup artist through desperation, not for procedure. I had enough procedures. For something else, for witness, for the specific expertise of someone who understood appearance from both sides. Her name was Magda. She worked in theater, not fashion. She had burned half her face in a fire decades ago, refused reconstruction, wore her scars openly, had built a career making others beautiful while remaining visibly damaged herself. I booked a session, not for makeup, I'd had enough makeup, for conversation, for the specific expertise of someone who understood appearance from both sides. She looked at me, not my face, at me, the way Vivian looked, the way Emma had looked before the tears. "You want me to make you beautiful," Magda said, not a question. "I am beautiful," I said, automatic, defensive, the response of someone who had invested everything in a single answer. "You are symmetrical," Magda agreed. "You are optimized. You are expensive, but you are not beautiful. Beauty is not appearance. Beauty is what happens when someone looks at you and feels more themselves, more possible, more seen. You make people feel less. I can see it. I've spent my life making people feel more, and I know the opposite immediately." I wanted to leave, to flee, to restore my defenses, to find a mirror that would validate me, a follower who would envy me, a space where my construction remained intact. But I stayed, because Magda was the first person who saw me, and I was starving for being seen, even in judgment, even in condemnation, even in the ugliness I had spent my life denying. "What do I do?" I asked, the question of someone who has lost their map, their compass, their belief that they know the way. You start seeing, really seeing, not evaluating, not calculating, not determining how someone serves your image. You look at people and find something in them that has nothing to do with you. You practice until it becomes natural, until you become someone who adds to rooms rather than consuming them. The work was brutal, invisible, without metrics. I stopped posting, not dramatically, just stopped. The silence was terrifying, the absence of validation, of metrics, of the constant feedback that had told me I existed, I mattered, I was successful. I started seeing, practicing the specific attention that Magda described. I sat in parks and watched people without photographing them. I rode public transit and noticed strangers without evaluating them. I ate meals without documenting them, tasting them instead, discovering that food had flavor beyond its caloric content, its photographic potential, its service to my optimization. I volunteered, not for content, at a shelter where appearance was irrelevant, where the people I served didn't know my name, my following, my former identity. I served meals, I listened to stories, I practiced being present without performance, being helpful without recognition, being human without documentation. I called Vivian, apologized, not performatively, specifically, for the years of judgment disguised as concern, for making her feel small when she had always made me feel tolerated, for treating her daughter as prop rather than person. She accepted, cautiously, with the patience that was her nature that I had mistaken for weakness. We rebuilt, slowly, without cameras, without audience, the private work of relationship which I was discovering for the first time. I saw Emma again. She was 7 now. I arrived without preparation, without procedure, without the specific construction I had previously required. I brought a gift, a book, not branded, not photogenic, chosen because Vivian had mentioned Emma's interest in a subject I had never bothered to learn about. Emma looked at me. The same direct gaze, the same unfiltered evaluation, but this time she smiled, not because I had changed my face, because I had changed my looking, because she felt seen rather than assessed, encountered rather than consumed. "You're different," she said, the simple accuracy of a child. "I'm trying to be," I said, the honest admission of an adult finally learning. "I'm different now. Not transformed, not healed, still struggling with the voice that wants optimization, the impulse that wants documentation, the hunger that wants validation from appearance rather than substance. But I practice, daily, the specific discipline of seeing others, of contributing without recognition, of being present without performance. I work in theater now, not on stage, behind it, helping Magda with makeup, with the transformation of actors into characters, with the understanding that appearance serves story rather than replacing it. I am invisible in ways that would have previously terrified me, and I am discovering that invisibility is freedom. I see my face differently, not without care. I still maintain, still attend to health, still appreciate the body I inhabit, but without obsession, without the belief that my value is located in my symmetry, my youth, my adherence to standards I didn't create and can't sustain. I see my sister differently, as the stronger one, always, the one who chose substance when I chose surface, who built relationship when I built following, who tolerated my cruelty without ever requiring it for her own validation. I see my niece differently, as teacher, always, the one who saw what I couldn't, who responded honestly to what I had hidden even from myself, who gave me the gift of her tears because they were the only truth I could finally hear. The lesson, if you need it: you are not your appearance, you are not your optimization, your presentation, your carefully constructed surface. You are what happens when someone looks at you and feels more possible, more seen, more real. If you make people feel less visible, less valuable, less real, you are ugly. No matter your symmetry, your expense, your metrics of external success, you are ugly in the only way that matters, and the mirror will never show you this because the mirror only reflects what you've already constructed. The work of becoming beautiful is the work of becoming present, of seeing others without calculation, of contributing without recognition, of making the people around you feel that they matter, that they are real, that they are encountered rather than evaluated. This work is invisible. It doesn't photograph well, it doesn't accumulate followers, it doesn't validate the specific hunger that appearance-based culture has installed in all of us. but it is the only beauty that lasts, the only beauty that matters when the fillers dissolve, the filters fail, the followers move on. The only beauty that a child can see, that a stranger can feel, that a sister can recognize, even when you've spent decades making her feel invisible. I'm Celeste. I was professionally beautiful and personally monstrous. I am learning to be ordinary in appearance and present in essence. I am finally seeing what I spent 30 years refusing to look at.